Yeah. It's 3 o'clock. I got here about 3 minutes ago. Yes. And I spent some time this afternoon kind of looking at something that I didn't understand. um, I've had some difficulty getting my rights enforced, and there was this declaration by Pastor Greg Miller. Yes. And then the petitioner petitioned and motion to modify the protection order. Right. But then you had a court hearing on the 12th of October. Right. But I wasn't served. Yes. hmm I didn't get any notice of that court hearing. Yeah. And there seems to be a real problem with the protecting of my rights and the rights of my family. Now, I noticed that when you had the court hearing on the 12th, yes, you scheduled another court hearing on the 26th. Right. That would be right here. Oh. But then you had a court hearing, yeah, on the 16th. Yes. Where exactly is that in this 1012 1026? But then you had another order modifying protection order. Yes. Because I don't see that right there. Oh. Now, when you have a court hearing, yes. And then I asked the question, well, how do you protect my rights as the respondent, giving me 5 judicial days between the 12th, yes, and the 16th? And then how do you protect my rights from the 16th, yes, to the 26th? Because I don't see any notice of court hearing for myself from the 16th to the 26th, yes. From the 12th to the 16th? Yes. And from the 2nd to the 12th? Ouch, ouch, ouch. Now, from October 2nd? Yes. To the 26th? Yes. You had one court hearing. Uh-huh. You had another court hearing? Yep. And then you had another court hearing? Yep. But you had another court hearing right here, so there would be one court hearing? Yes. And then there was another court hearing? Yes. And another court hearing? Yes. You had 4 court hearings in 24 days. Now, are you having unnecessary court hearings? Because let's say I went to visit Pastor Greg and I asked for prayer. Yes. And that's when you decided to add the condition that I couldn't go to the Baptist church and I couldn't go to the Boys and Girls Club? Right. And so someone motioned the court, and I would think it's the petitioner. Okay. I mean, isn't that the individual that motions the court? Yeah. Now, did she have to appear in court when she motioned the court, or was something where the court decided to do it just because Greg Miller decided he wanted? um, it was a declaration of Greg Miller. Yes. There was a petition to motion to modify. Yeah. And then there was an order, terms of protection order to modify on October 2nd of 2012. Yes. And then you reissued a temporary protection order. Right. Hmm. Instead of a permanent protection order, you had to have another temporary protection order hearing. Oh, why did you have to do that? Was it ex parte? Pro se? hmm And you were supposed to attempt service between October 2nd and October 12th? Yes. But you didn't. The only sheriff's return of service I see is on 10/16 of 2012. Yes. Was that when I was served, or was somebody other than myself served? Because when you motion the court to modify a protection order where I'm the named respondent, yeah. When do I get to appear in court, and when is it that the court has to actually protect my rights as the respondent? Now, you would say I don't have any right to go to a Baptist church. Pooch. I have no right to go to the Boys and Girls Club. That you can obstruct me from going to any and all charities. Ooch. Because as I remember it, this 1,000 feet, yes, is restrained from going within 300 feet of the First Baptist Church of Sequim. Yes, 1323 Sequim Dungeness Way. and from going within 300 feet of the Boys and Girls Club, 400 West First Street, Sequim, Washington. Yeah. Now you did this in 2012. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, exactly how do you have the right to do that? Did my sons belong to the Boys and Girls Club, as in they have a membership there? Approach. I just as a Boys and Girls Club, okay. Exactly what are the limitations? Because as I look at this, the petition, yeah, was it the petitioner that motioned the court? Yes. And then, do you have to give me 5 judicial days? Between court hearings, because it looks to me like you had an unnecessary court hearing where I didn't get notice to it. I mean, it has to be reissuing a temporary protection order. I don't have a copy of it. Does anybody have a copy of it? Now, um, I'm a little less excited than I was this morning, but this concept of emailing bar associations, I think that other nations do have a liability for what the United States does. And the United States has a liability for other nations. Now, thinking that they might own actual United States bonds, ooh, when the United States doesn't actually enforce the due process rights of myself as a respondent, they'd be violating certain treaties and certain obligations of nations to protect their actual their securities, their debt as a nation. Now, I have emailed other nations, other judiciaries, and just looking at this, okay. What seems to be the difficulty in removing your fucking protection order?